Hey, good afternoon, friends. It's Scotty here up in Boulder, Colorado. Hope you guys are doing fabulous. Just wanted to take a minute to do a few minute video about something that's very important to me. It's very timely with what's going on in our country right now, and especially with what happened over this past weekend up in Minneapolis. So if you're into longer videos, perfect. Watch it. If not, scroll on, but you might want to watch this one. It seems pretty important, and it seems like we're all talking about the same thing. I just wanted to give you my perspective. If you've not yet seen the movie Swing Kids, I'm going to invite you to do so. If you haven't yet, I'll really encourage you to watch it. It shows what happens to a government that slowly starts to shift towards control, fear, and blind loyalty, and how young people are forced into making decisions, kind of like ICE right now, that they have to choose between conformity and what's under good conscience. And I'm bringing this up right now because we're seeing in our country some really uncomfortable similarities to what happened back during that time. Not because the history is identical, but because history teaches patterns. And I firmly believe that we should always be in the learning process. I'm bringing this up because what I really thought about this weekend when I saw the shootings and stuff was not about, and I felt bad and horrible for those families, but more importantly, where is our country heading today? Not for us old people, right? But for our children. We become a country obsessed with instant results, instant answers, instant anger, and instant loyalty. But nations rise and fall based on long-term thinking, not instant gratification or quick emotions. What we normalize today will be what affects and what our kids inherit for tomorrow. So, yeah, I got a couple notes here because that way I don't get too far off track. I want to speak now to MAGA. I can relate to a lot of you who support what's going on in our government right now and who support this president, sure, our leader, right? I grew up in a trailer park. Not saying all of you did. I'm just saying I grew up in a trailer park. My parents came from nothing. They blamed the government for everything. It was always the government's fault. They didn't travel. They didn't have a world view. They hadn't opened their minds yet. They weren't educated. They were racist. They were angry. And it was somebody else's fault at all times. So they always felt that the government was against them. And I understood that feeling. I mean, I was raised in that household, so it made sense to me. But I was the first person in our family to graduate beyond high school. I studied. I have traveled. I have learned history. And I learned through that and all those things put together that blaming the government from everything doesn't solve the system. But blind loyalty to the power will destroy it. So if you just give your mind, your soul, your spirit, everything, your friends, your family, I've seen that happen, to what's going on right now, MAGA, then, it could possibly destroy the system. And I know some of you think that and believe in your hearts that you're doing the right thing. Possibly you are. Possibly you're not. The important thing is to be open to both sides of that conversation and do what's best for not only us now, but for our children to come. I could say this, though, with what's happening in Minneapolis and some other places around the country, we need to take responsibility, strong responsibility. And I don't mean violence. I don't mean what happened on January 6th. I don't mean what's happening in Minnesota. I don't mean civil war, seriously. I mean by educating ourselves, by having open and meaningful conversations, by holding the people that we have elected or not elected, right, accountable for their actions. I mean, working harder to get better citizens and to become better citizens. Pardon me, I said that wrong. To become better citizens, not angrier ones. We can work together and do this. I can assure you that. It'll take putting a lot aside of anger, angst, some revenge, if that's what's on your heart, your mind, and being a better person. Because we're all human, no matter how you look at it. Black, brown, white, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, not gay, straight, trans, none of it matters. Mind your own business and worry about what's important to you and your family, and everybody else can take care of themselves. The government does not need to control this. I know the times are scary. Some of you watching may have voted for this president and the cabinet and believe things would be better. You're going to get rich quick and all that. Well, we can clearly see, I know all of us have to agree that we're not going to be billionaires, but the billionaires are going to make more money. That's a guarantee. But look around. People are dying. Like cold-blooded murder. Seriously. Like this is East St. Louis, close to where I grew up. People are getting hurt. Families are getting split and traumatized because, honestly, because of political votes. Think about it. But also, sure, you can blame because of the color of their skin. We're going to take the bad people away. Those illegals. Those illegals aren't hurting you. They're not taking away the jobs that you wanted or that you would never do, by the way. So it's okay to be different. And it's okay to accept people. I'll encourage you to do that. I know I was raised in a household that didn't do that, so it took me a long time to get where I am. But that's exactly where I am, and I will continue moving forward in my thoughts and my heart process. If you say, hey, I voted for this, that's what I wanted, then you're the one that has to sit with that. Because if this is what you wanted, then I want you to think about one thing. This could be your child that got shot in the face by ICE. This could be your child that is being taken away and thrown in a cage like an animal because of the color of their skin or wrong place, wrong time, it seems like. I don't think they're as selective as they were when they started this process. This could be your brother, could be your wife, your husband, your significant other. It could be a member of your family. Take it a little bit closer to home than just dismissing the fact that it's not somebody you know, and bring it closer to home. Maybe it'll mean a little bit more to you. I visited, as I said, I've traveled. I visited concentration camps. I didn't say anything. Don't jump to the conclusion, Mag, and say, oh, he said, Trump's Hitler. I didn't say that. I just said I visited concentration camps. And history could repeat itself, right? Sun's right there. I've seen what has happened when governments go unchecked. All of us know that the Holocaust was a real thing. I don't know, and I pray to God that it doesn't happen like that again, but it could if we don't educate ourselves, stay alert, and live the way that we're supposed to, right? It all started with language. It all started with fear. It started with dehumanization, taking away the arts, the skills, education, dumbing down society, and coming to where we are now. It all started with loyalty over law, which is what's happening in Minneapolis. And that's why I reference Nazi Germany. Not to say it's the same, but it's how it always begins. Do your research, please. We need to remember that there is something uncomfortable. Some of you don't want to hear, but it's true. Unless you're of Native American blood in this great country of ours, which I wholeheartedly believe in. I love America. Can't stand Murica, but I do love America. We're not morally superior just because we came. Dehumanizing people doesn't make us safer. It just makes us smaller. So just remember, unchecked governments don't serve people. They serve money and power. The system isn't working to make America richer. It's making the rich richer and forcing everyone else to obey what they fear and through that fear. I understand people hate being wrong. You may or may not have voted for MAGA and what's going on. It's hard. I understand narcissism. I was with it for a very long time and still continue to struggle with it just because that's what's happening. But being wrong is not failure. It's okay. As long as you're forward thinking and moving forward, then you're becoming a better person. Refusing to change when people are being hurt is wrong. So be a better person. I'll leave with this. It's not about right versus left. It's not about Republican versus Democrat. It's conscious versus control. It's democracy, which is what our country is built on, versus fear. It's short-term anger versus long-term responsibility. If we love our children, if we love this country, then we have to think beyond today. We have to think well past the immediate, whoa, and think about what's really to come. History only repeats itself when we stop paying attention. Have a great day, everybody. I love you. Sorry the video's long. Get over it. If you made it to this end, you might laugh when I say that. I love you.